Boyfriend said he wanted to rape me. Is that a normal desire? So I'm really shocked and confused. I don't know why I didn't see it coming, because one time I asked him to stop doing something sexual to me and he just kept going. For some context, we're both 17 and we were best friends for about 5 years prior to that. Edit. Well, best friends for 3. Friends for 5. Not sure if this is relevant, so I'm shocked because I thought I knew him. So we were talking about stuff that we were into. I had said I wanted to get spanked, and that I'd like having my hands tied or whatever. So the convo was in that realm. Then he said he wanted to rape me. I thought surely he doesn't mean that, so I said, oh, like role play? And he said that's be hot, but actually doing it would be hot. I said, so if you knew I disliked it and wanted you to stop it'd be hot. He said yay. He told me he's gotten off to doing that to me before. He's not sure why, because he's never watched stuff like that in porn, but for some reason I trigger that desire in him. He even said when he gets off to it he especially thinks about how much I don't want it in his fantasy and how I'm begging him to stop. His mom took him to a mental facility to get tested a couple of months ago, thought he had a learning disability, but they made him take a personality test too. So the people who know what they're doing didn't catch anything wrong with him. I also used to get upset about him watching porn. I don't anymore. But my point with that is I have a track record with not understanding that guys can separate reality and fantasy. Edit. I can't respond to everyone, but thank you for all of the comments. I see that this is clearly wrong. I had a feeling it was, but I thought no way, of it is wrong, that's way too much and there's no way he's like that. I feel like I'm still in denial because it's hard to see somebody one way and then find out something really disturbing about them. Especially when you love that person a lot. But I know it's really bad and I wish he wasn't like that so I could stay with him. Also, something I left out, the mental test place was weird because they kept giving him questionnaires that said, do you have dark thoughts, violent thoughts? Which I don't see why they need to know if you're getting tested for a learning disability, but maybe they do. You should really get away and stay away from him. He's already sexually assaulted you once and he will definitely do it again. No, it's not. Rape is a serious crime that is not punished hard enough. Even if this is in a joking manner to him, it's not funny. At 17 he's the kind you want to avoid, like COVID-19. It's one thing to role play or to have a safe word. He's actually talking about raping you. Nope. Run. He's already sexually assaulted you and now expressed a desire to rape you. That is not normal on any level at all. You should really cut him out of your life. He sounds completely toxic. Is that a normal desire? No. The desire to rape is not normal. I imagine there are some guys who see porn that role plays scenarios and think it's hot, but understand that that isn't what actual rape is. But honestly, why risk being around someone who says they want to rape anyone? Seems crazy dangerous. Get away now. That isn't just a red flag, that's the damn bull charging at your face. He isn't okay, and just because medical professionals say there is nothing wrong, doesn't mean they are always right. Trust me on that one. No. Make this post on our BDSM. Seriously. They will help you understand just how wrong this is. Yeah, fucking dip out. That's not normal, it's a red flag. Express your concerns with him. Tell him how you feel. Role-playing this kind of scenario isn't exactly typical, but it's not all that rare either. It's one of the reasons safe words exist. But the man himself said that he is not talking about wanting to do roleplay, but the real thing. That's pretty much the biggest reddest flag ever. Please run. He's already violated your boundaries. He has sexually assaulted you previously, and if you guys were having sex and you told him some variation of no or stop, and he kept going, then he has already raped you. Please, for your own well-being and mental health, leave this boy and never look back. This is not normal. I believe you should take a step back from the relationship. Because this fantasy could become a reality. You should tell a member in your family. Your boyfriend should love and cherish you. Not get off on the idea of you being harmed and put in a horrific situation. He should protect you and worry about you. This is not healthy or normal. Please get out of this for your safety. If he wants to do that horrific thing to you, you need to think about what he'd be okay with other horrific things people could do to you. You deserve to feel safe in a relationship. You may have the order jumbled up. Which came first, the desire to rape or the actual sexual assault? It is likely that he had the rape fantasy first and you only found out about it later when he told you. When he sexually assaulted you, this was likely powered by the rape fantasy. You need to consider how this really could have turned out, as if it was not bad enough already. You've now had at least 2 warnings that this guy has some seriously violent and deviant thoughts about you. ACT now. You know people can lie for those personality tests, eh? Hey, I'm with the consensus here. You boyfriend is a creep who has already violated your consent. But if you have any doubts, please post this in our BDSM advice and ask their thoughts. I have no doubts they will very kindly and gentle describe the difference between consensual non-consent role play and sexual assault within the kink community. No, it's not. No good guy ever wants to rape a girl ever. Rape is not about sex, it's usually about power and control. Get out of this relationship ASAP. This boy might be a future rapist in the making. He needs to get talked to by a male authority figure. Is there somebody that could do that? Either way, for your safety, this is not something you want to subject yourself to. Please leave him before it's too late. He literally told you in an alarmingly casual way that you're a sexual object to him. I would think about telling his parents so he can get some help before he rapes another girl. You might also want to get a restraining order. This isn't normal. If someone loves you, the desire to actually harm you in this way shouldn't be there. It's one thing if it's a role-play scenario, that's fine. If he knows you're okay in reality and it's all an act, it's much different than him wanting to know you aren't okay, and psychologically and/or physically harm you. I really worry for you that one day he will actually do this. No means no every time. Stranger, one-night stands, boyfriends, and even in marriage. Every time. I'm married to my best friend of 12 years, married for 5. I would leave if he expressed a desire to full-on actually rape me. That's horrifying. How are you even asking this? Run. Holy shit. Leave immediately. Block him on everything. Ghost him. Holy shit. No. That is not normal at all. He's literally saying the though of hurting and assaulting you gets him going. Now if that's not a fucking warning, I don't know what is. Get away from this guy ASAP. It's not a fantasy or roleplay if you don't both agree to it, and if you don't use safe words to stop when you get uncomfortable. The fact that he seems to actually want to rape you is alarming. That means he might violently rape you when you're least expecting it. That's non-consensual sex, also known as rape, which is a crime. That is not just a fantasy, and that is going to hurt you both physically and emotionally. People grow up and change. Maybe he's not the person that you first met. End the relationship now. His rape fantasy is disturbing and evil. He has already sexually assaulted you, and the fact he has treated it so lightly is scary. You need to tell an adult who you trust everything and ask them to come with you so you can report him to the police. Unfortunately, in situations like these, the police will see it as, he said, she said, but it will be on record. Whatever you do, do not meet up with him in person on your own to end things, as this would give him the opportunity to fulfill his desire of raping you. I would also advise you look into speaking to a professional, because even if you are okay at this moment, the long-lasting effects could cause major damage mentally and physically in the future. Rape fantasy, properly called consensual non-consensual, or CNC, is a real thing, a kink that is practiced by people, but it is not common. A true CNC relationship is discussed well in advance, and the ground rules and hard limits are established beforehand. Sound like he is nowhere near a true CNC partner, he is probably a closet rapist. He already cannot honor your boundaries, and has assaulted you. That will not get better. There are people who like the rape fantasy role play, but that's where both people are consenting to it. That's not what you're describing at all. The fact that he'd prefer it to be real and without your consent is a big, freaking red flag. I think you need to cut your losses and run. The fact that he is telling you to your face that he wants to do this means that he doesn't care that you would think or your autonomy. He already pushed the boundaries with you saying to stop, and he didn't. I'm afraid it's only a matter of time before he tries the real thing. When you join in a physical relationship with someone, It's important for them to understand where your boundaries lie, and that you have every right to say no at any time. He clearly doesn't understand either of those, and him telling you that he fantasies about this also indicates that he doesn't care about your feelings. I would break it off via phone call or with a trusted friend, family close by, because he could get violent when you distance yourself. Boy, bye. Please leave him. He's going to rape you if you don't leave. Tell your parents if you're in a safe environment. Or tell a trusted adult. That's not normal, nor is it okay. No, it's not normal. Run, and run fast. Rape fantasy is a pretty common kink. This is something else. Get out of there and don't look back. You know, after my nearly 21 years on the planet, I've never once thought to myself, man, I wanna rape you, GF, because that is pretty fucked up. Rape play with a safe word can be fun. It is just another version of giving up control sexually, but can be stopped if it gets too much. This doesn't sound like that. This sounds scary and you need to be extra cautious. I would personally run far, far away. It's called dumping him. Let him know that fantasy is not healthy and wrong. Dump him and leave ASAP. You have no way of knowing what they didn't find at the facility unless you talked to them yourself, and that would be illegal without his consent. So if you're going by what he says they said, he could be lying. Your previous post is you describing him sexually assaulting you, and now you're saying that he is flat out telling you that he wants to violate you and hurt you. Run. Run fast. And tell his mother, please. Sorry to break the news, hun, but he already raped you. Nope. Nope. And more nope. My boyfriend and I both get into rough and sub-based sex. The second one of us isn't 100% into it, it's done. It is not normal to ignore a request to stop during any sexual activity, and role play requires both parties to be consenting. Get out of that relationship. He's done it once and he will do it again. If you can, tell a parent, a counselor, an adult sibling, some adult who you trust and know can help console you. Keep a paper trail of this and ask for their help. I know it's terrifying, but I wish I'd had that trail and that help when I was in a sexually abusive relationship at 13. This is not normal, and your gut is telling you so. That's why you reached out on here. Trust that instinct. That's self-preservation. Do not let anyone convince you that this is okay or normal. Normal behavior? That's a big nope. Yeah, I was going into this assuming I was going to respond that rape play isn't that weird of a fetish. My ex and I tried it once or twice, and even though I'm way bigger than her, she basically kicked my ass. But, no, hard stop sign. If he actually wants to rape you, then that is not fucking normal and it is not okay. Why do so many of these posts require the same advice? Run. Fucking run. Non-consent is a relatively normal kink. However, it's something healthy couples approach with extreme care. They discuss it ahead of time, agree on safe words and gestures, set limits and boundaries, etc. Your boyfriend is a rapist. No, that's not normal at all. Role play is one thing, but he has made it quite clear that it isn't about role play. He wants to actually rape you against your will, and he finds that to be a turn-on. That's a big bag of nope. Get away from him. Hell, I'd be really goddamn careful around him if I were you. Once someone starts to think it's okay to violate a person's free will and consent, there's no telling what they'll do. You absolutely do not rely on whatever test he tells you he passed. Firstly, he could well be lying. Secondly, I am a doctor. There is no mental test to declare someone a non-rapist. He said he gets off on the idea of you crying and begging him to stop, as he rapes you. It sounds like he's working his way up to it, and grooming you to accept this kind of abuse. Run before he enacts his fantasies. The way he describes it, I would take that as a huge warning. Sounds like wants perverse control, and that's a bloody red flag. No. This is not normal and very dangerous territory. I would 100% cut off this relationship and tell an adult close to you for support. Loving, healthy people do not have that desire. That is not a fantasy or role play. He wants to commit sexual assault against you. Seriously, leave now. Run. This is something he has fully thought out and doesn't seem to see anything wrong with. Absolute no, not okay. There is a very good chance your boyfriend will rape you at some point. Get the hell away from him. Tell his parents, he needs help, and if he doesn't get it, he could rape someone else.